Hello and welcome back. So in this video we're going to look at method 3 for locating the traces of a plane when you're given a laminar section. So we'll begin by just having a look at the setup. So it's very similar to the one that we had before. Here we're given our laminar section, so our small triangular portion of this much larger plane. Now the principle that method 3 works off of is the idea that, look, the lamina here is sitting on top of the plane itself. So if we see the lamina as an edge view, will automatically see the plane here as an edge view as well, and the two will be overlapping each other. So that's the principle that we're going to use for this third method. This method is going to begin in a very similar way to method 2, insofar as that we're going to first of all find what's known as a strike line, or a line that is on our surface here, on our lamina, that is going to be parallel to the horizontal trace. So if you remember from our previous example, we were using this idea of raising a level of water to find a watermark on our lamina. That's our strike line. So to do that, we go and draw a line. Again, it's going to be parallel there, but that line, that watermark line there, will appear parallel to our horizontal trace, which we know is going to be a level line in our elevation. So I begin with a level line in our elevation, and where it hits our, going from A over here to the line BC, so where it hits BC here, we project down onto BC here, giving us our level line located in our plan view. Now you can see our level line, our watermark line, or our strike line, is parallel to the horizontal trace. And what's more, because it is a horizontal line, it's going to be a true length line. And we know that if we look along a true length line on any surface, we will automatically see the surface as an edge view. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look along that strike line and create an auxiliary plane like so. So the angle of that plane will be at 90 degrees to our strike line here. So we're looking along our strike line, and there is the plane seen from above. There's our x1, y1 line at 90 degrees to our strike line. So we're going to project our lamina onto the plane, giving us an edge view of the lamina. So we'll do the same here from our plan view, taking our heights from our elevation, back 1, 2 rule, and there is the edge view of our lamina. Now, to, I suppose, fully understand that the lamina is sitting on top of the plane, so if we were to go and just trace over the edge of our lamina, we would also be seeing the edge of our plane. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. There is the edge of our plane sitting on top of the lamina, and you can see we're looking specifically for the horizontal trace. So the horizontal trace is where the overall plane here meets the horizontal plane, the ground. And that's exactly what we can see here. We can see our plane here, where it meets the ground here, should be in line with our horizontal trace. There's where our edge of our plane here meets the ground, the XY line, and we can just project that back in line with our strike line or our viewing direction here, and there is our horizontal trace. So by looking along this watermark here, this strike line here, it's the same as if we had looked along the horizontal trace. So giving us either an edge view of the plane or the lamina, both one and the same. And it's a useful method because it also gives us the angle that the plane is at to the ground as well. So sometimes you'll be asked for the inclination of a plane, and that's how we go about finding the inclination of the plane as well. It's also a useful method that if we want to find the true shape of our lamina, a lot of the time we'll create this edge here and we'll rabat it onto the ground and hinge it out to get the true shape. So it's often a part B or a part C for a question to use this edge view approach here like that. So having already found the horizontal trace, now we need to go and find the vertical trace. And the way we do that, we could use any of the previous methods, either extending on our lines or using our watermark, but we're going to use a different method, our third method for this here. So this third method basically works on the idea that if we can imagine there's our plane in our plan view, if we take a point on the vertical trace. Now we don't have the vertical trace yet, but we know that any point on the vertical trace will appear on the back wall. Right, that's the definition of our vertical trace, where the plane crosses the back wall, the vertical plane and our plane here like that. So we don't have any specific point for or position for P, so we can actually pick a random point here. So I'm picking P here, and there is P on the back wall in our plan view, the XY line representing the back wall looking from above. So if there's P in our plan view, what we're going to do is we're going to locate him on our auxiliary view. So there is P here. We look along or project along and there is P in our auxiliary view. And we know from our 1-2 rule that the heights in our auxiliary here will match the heights in our elevation. Remember, back 1 view, back 2 views. So the height that I would have here should match the height of P, the height off the ground in our elevation. So we just project P up like that into our elevation from our plan, take our height with our compass, and now we've located P off the ground in our elevation. P is on the back wall, so therefore P must be a point on our vertical trace. So there is our vertical trace found for us then in our elevation. And that gives us the plane fully completed then in our elevation. So that's the third method for locating the plane when given a laminar section or lamina section. So again, hopefully this has been of help to you. I mean, um, it's useful to kind of familiarize yourselves with each of the 3 different methods that we've seen, because different scenarios will call for a different method, and there's certain advantages and disadvantages depending on how the question itself is phrased. So familiarity with all 3 of them is definitely going to be something that's going to be useful to you across a wide range of topics. So that's the video, and hopefully it's been of use to you.